Hey you guys, it's Britt tonight. We're here to talk for a few minutes about Jasmine Chiswell. I talked about her almost 2 years ago in one video, which still gets comments periodically, but I wanted to talk about this because I was sent this TikTok and basically this other TikToker went through Jasmine's kind of top claims and dissected everything. But we're going to talk about all of this when it comes to kind of her making her whole empire off the back of Marilyn Monroe and my thoughts about this kind of super fan culture when it comes to people like Marilyn. So if you're interested, please keep watching. Alright, you guys, so this video won't be too long, but I do think that it's important because it's something that I've covered in the past. And first, let's talk about Jasmine. Jasmine Chiswell is very well known on TikTok because, number one, she's kind of like cosplaying as Marilyn Monroe. She's a super fan of Marilyn and she lives currently in one of the homes that Marilyn Monroe lived in for a short period of time. No, it is not her final residence and the only home that she ever owned, but it is one of the homes that she lived in for a short period of time. But Jasmine has built a huge platform on TikTok by cosplaying Marilyn, and that in itself is a little odd to me. However, some of the things that she has said about Marilyn and some of the claims that she has made around living in one of Marilyn's former homes is what really bothers me, and that's why I want to make this video, because once I saw some of the things that were outlined in this video, that's where I said, okay, this is not just somebody being a super fan, this is actually somebody building an empire and getting attention based off of outright lies. So all credit goes to this TikTok channel, what's it called? The Truth About Marilyn. Let's just start from the top. This woman is smart but wrong for what she did. Jasmine Chiswell built her whole fame around Marilyn Monroe. She appeared on news channels and all over social media for her accusing Marilyn of haunting the house and saying she found her signature and more. And let's just talk about that for a second, because in my opinion, which might be just one of a few, if Marilyn Monroe was going to decide to hang around any of her former residences, why would it be this one? Why would it not be her final residence and the only home that she ever owned? And she truly loved that home that she owned. In my opinion, that would be the residence that she would choose to pop in and visit or hang out in, because I am not somebody who, like, I believe in ghosts and I believe in paranormal kind of things. So now, not all of it, because a lot of it is fake for social media. We all know all about that. But of course, that's going to gain more traction for Jasmine's videos if she's sitting there saying that Marilyn Monroe is haunting the house that I'm living in, and it just so happens to be a house that she stayed in for a short period of time. But let's get into the signature part, because that's where it gets really interesting. So it says she lied saying she found Marilyn Monroe's signature in the house, but really that's not her signature. Pay attention, because this signature was put on this piece of wood in a Sharpie. We'll get back to that in a second. First of all, I never saw this original video of Jasmine's because it was a long time ago, but I want to say I'm not a Marilyn Monroe fanatic. I don't know everything. I'm always willing to learn more, but I will say that I can look at this signature and tell you that it's not Marilyn Monroe's signature. And I've looked at her signature, a handful of times. I haven't studied it, but even as somebody who has seen it a handful of times, looking at this, I can tell you that that's not her signature with 100% certainty. And then it also shows some of her actual signatures. here, and it says, but it doesn't take too much knowledge to know that this was written in a Sharpie, which were invented in 1964. When Marilyn's husband, Joe DiMaggio, rented the house as a honeymoon home in 1953 for a couple of months. So obviously we're many, many years off. Sharpies weren't even around. And like I said, that's obviously not her signature. Jasmine put this comment saying Sharpie pens came out in 1952, and that was the first year she stayed here. Jasmine, girl, like, don't you know that people on the internet fact check everything? She also claimed in that video that she was going to get it authorized, but she never did, and no follow-up was ever done. Shocking, I know. And a signature from 69 years ago wouldn't look that fresh and new, obviously. Jasmine lied, saying she found her dog's footprint, Math, a Maltese terrier given to her by Frank Sinatra, after she split from her husband, Arthur Miller. It would be impossible because Marilyn was gifted Math by Frank Sinatra in 1961. So her timelines are just all completely off. Marilyn lived in the home in 1953. So the timelines are just way off. And here she claims that she's trying Marilyn Monroe's lipstick. Guys, like, you don't even have to be a cosmetic historian to be able to look at this product and tell that that is obviously not something that came from Marilyn's collection. Aaron Parsons also fact-checked that. By the way, side note, if you guys are into vintage or vintage makeup or old makeup or whatever, follow Erin. She is awesome. She's over on TikTok, and she's always coming out with really cool videos, not just kind of your cookie cutter old makeup stuff, but like really, really cool, researched, well done videos. So I'll link her TikTok down below. Now, she goes on to go off about this haunting stuff. A medium visited the home. The medium said, I asked if she was Marilyn, and she told me to call her Norma. Really, Marilyn preferred to be called Marilyn because Norma Jean would give her PTSD and remind her of her traumatic childhood, which makes complete sense. Makes complete sense. And then she comes out with this belt that she claims, oh, is this Marilyn's belt? It's not Marilyn's belt. So then the thing with the magazines. Jasmine finds these magazines she claims were used and written in by Marilyn, but the magazines were from June 1953. Marilyn moved out of the house in January 1953. So we're just like digging a big old hole right now. Another thing is that Jasmine Chiswell said she was going to let the fully fictional movie Blonde film in her house. But they soon told her they were able to do it in Marilyn's house, which is the one on 5th Helena Drive, the one that she owned at the very end of her life. My opinion on Jasmine is, on top of being a really strangely obsessed person who is cosplaying as Marilyn, she is also on the list of people who have exploited Marilyn even in her death for their own financial gain. This is not somebody who respects Marilyn and respects history and shares a respect and admiration for this absolute icon who was misused during her life, and she was also misused after her life was done. And Jasmine Chiswell is on that list. So in my opinion, I don't even like calling Jasmine Chiswell a fan of Marilyn Monroe. I think that she is simply somebody who exploits Marilyn for her own financial gain. And I realize that over the last, little while, she has kind of moved away from so heavily focusing on Marilyn. But let's be honest, she has already built up her platform. If it wasn't for cosplaying and doing all of this lying and misleading using Marilyn's name, then she wouldn't have the platform to stand on right now, where she's able to kind of move away from that content and do other stuff. So I don't like it. I don't like anyone who exploits anybody. point blank, period. And Marilyn Monroe is an absolute icon and deserves so much better than the cheap misinformation, nonsensical content that Jasmine Chiswell has published using her name and her images. I don't like it, and I wanted to provide this as a little update on updated thoughts since this video was sent to me. But that's going to be it for tonight. So if you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.